What's up, Detroit?
What's up, Detroit?
Good morning to everyone here in Detroit, windy, cold, freezing city.
Brr.
But see, if you live here, then you already understand that that's what we're about this time of year, and it's okay. Just dress a little warmer, right?
That's right.
Right. I've been really, really loving the sunshine.
Me too.
Have you
even
seen?
If it's, even when it's cold, it's something about that sun that makes you feel energy. The sun does give you energy.
Yeah. Yesterday
But I
morning
tell
was so
you,
bright.
Oh, I know. It wasn't bad today either.
No, it was
No, it wasn't
okay.
too bad.
But yesterday, man, I was in the sun and I was just kind of like basking in it, and it was cold.
Yeah.
But I love the sunshine. Again, we want to welcome you guys here to What's Up Detroit. I just had to get that out because that
Yes.
just kind of made me, have a moment there.
Right.
My name is Daisy Love, and I'm your host. And I got with me today co-hosting is the one and only Miss B.J. Evans.
Hello, everyone.
If you guys don't know, she's one of the original singers of the Undisputed Truth. And it's been an honor for me to work with her in that group. And, so I always have to have her come down because she's got such great energy. And I understand why you was in the Undisputed Truth. I do. I totally get it because she's, well, it's true. It's true.
I enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
it. It was something different for me singing with Joe because I always sung with females
Right.
before I,
Right.
the Undisputed Truth.
Mm-hmm.
But it was interesting and it makes you grow, when you do things different. It makes
Yep.
you
Yep.
develop and grow, and it was wonderful.
Yeah.
And working up under Norman, I tell you, Norman Whitfield and Vera Strong, they are legends for real. I mean,
Yeah.
I want to say that they were before their time.
Yeah. Because their music is still relevant today.
Yeah.
Lyrically
yeah.
and everything.
Yeah, they were before their time.
Yeah.
And a lot of people couldn't quite get it, with the psychedelic funk that they came out with us.
Yeah.
But I tell you, I enjoyed their guidance.
Yeah.
And they always had a message, and you just had to take it in. If you listen to it a couple of times, it's like, oh, I get it. A lot of people were saying that they didn't know where to place us.
Oh, wow.
At that time because of our sound,
Yeah.
but it's the words, it's the message.
Yeah.
That was the main thing.
Yeah, it was 20 years ahead of its time, for sure, because those lyrics, I mean, I can almost say I hear some of that stuff maybe similar in terms of context with people like Kendrick Lamar.
Right.
I can hear the same type of messaging, and so, they were definitely ahead of the time.
Yeah.
Kind of like Marvin Gaye was like that
Right,
as well.
same thing.
Yeah.
Marvin Gaye and Stevie Wonder.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both
Oh
of 'em.
man, his what is the Inner Visions album?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's one of my
Yeah.
favorite albums by Stevie Wonder. His music is just timeless.
It is.
And then to see him perform it as though he just wrote it yesterday, and he still sounds so good.
Some people just
So good.
have it.
Yeah.
God bless them to still sound the same.
Yeah.
Just like with Joe. Joe,
Yes.
our leader of the Undisputed Truth, Joe actually sounds exactly the same, if not better. So time has treated him well. And that's the truth. I'm
Yeah.
not just saying it, it's the truth.
She said it's the truth, the undisputed truth.
Right.
Ask somebody. Okay. So we got a couple things going on in the city this week.
Yeah.
We're a part of the Offsprings of Legends show
Yes.
that is that Brenda Wilson has been working on for the last, I guess, almost I could say I would have to say almost a year, but it's coming to fruition. And Sunday is the big event.
Yeah, that would be February 23rd.
Right, February 23rd at 6 p.m.
Yes.
Tickets are $10, right?
$10, man.
Tickets are $10.
You can't beat it because of the people that are going to be on the show.
Right, right.
It's filled up, with entertainment.
Well, on here she has Paul Williams Jr. is going to be one of the guests on the show.
Right.
And she's got Rose Reed, and she's the daughter of Jimmy Reed.
Right.
And Benedito King, and he's the son of Ben E. King.
Right.
So, I'm looking forward to just meeting all of those people.
Right.
We had a phone interview a couple weeks ago, and Benedito called in,
Yes.
and I spoke with Rose Reed. So,
Okay.
we kind of like, hey, just,
Yeah,
just getting to meet each other.
Yeah, and Thelma Stubbs. She came in and we interviewed
Yes.
her.
Her and Brenda.
Her and
Yes,
Brenda.
Brenda Wilson.
They are a hoot. Both of them. They are really funny people,
Yeah.
and I enjoy just, being in their presence.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it
that
was
is,
nice.
it's, to me, and I understand that, we kind of get humbled being offsprings of legends, because we don't necessarily look at it like that. We honor what they brought for us.
Yeah.
And so it kind of humbles, the offsprings,
Yes.
knowing that they have that to carry.
Yeah, oh,
Not
yeah.
that it's heavy or a heavy load or anything, but people always say, "Oh wow, I remember they did this, and I remember," and then so you have to automatically transport yourself to that time.
Right.
When they were there and they were doing all of these things, and it's almost like you have to have something to say about it, and that's what I mean when I say the weight of it to carry it. And but that's an honor and is definitely a privilege. So if you
Yes.
guys are available and you want to go and see some good entertainment this week, you can go to Eventbrite and you just type in Offspring of Legends and you can purchase your tickets for $10. The show starts at 6 to 9 p.m. at the Northwest Activity Center. That's 18100 Curtis at Myers, okay,
Say
in
it
Detroit,
again,
Michigan.
Daisy.
18100 Curtis and Myers,
Right.
Northwest Activity Center. I hope to see you guys there because Undisputed Truth is going to be in there.
Yeah.
Doing a smiling face.
Right.
Come on now.
Preaching to be your friend.
Can't dig it.
I love it.
Man. Today we're going to have an awesome guest. I've known this young man for, some years now. And I'm sorry, DJ, I'm still thinking about we just broke into song.
And didn't do our part, mind
Right,
you.
we was doing Joe's part.
part.
That's so funny. But anyway, I'm speaking about this young man who, Joe and I talk a lot about producing shows and about finding promoters, the new up-and-coming promoters in the city and just around Michigan altogether. And just so happened, he and I ran into each other, and I found out he was producing and promoting shows. And I'm like, whoa, we just talked about this, because it used to be
Monday, wasn't it? This past Monday.
It used to be where you would see promoters all the time promoting big shows and doing
yeah.
a lot of different things, and you don't really necessarily hear a lot about that anymore.
No, you don't.
There was one other production company that I ran into a couple weeks ago, and they're called Scroove, Skroove. And they're a promotion company, but they like to get the alternative artists, and they work with some of the newer artists in producing shows and putting them on shows to get them known. And I went to one recently, and I had the young ladies that was on the show from The Dime.
Oh, okay.
They were on that show. And so I videotaped a little bit of it. You guys can go through the archives and find the video and actually see their performances because they were awesome to be beginning first-year students at Dime.
Wow.
And so it was really, really good. However, getting back to Andre, his name is Andre Daniels, and he's going to be on the show with us in a couple minutes. We're going to bring him
Andre!
up and talk about what he's doing, the artists that he's working with. He's working with some phenomenal artists. He has Phil Denny. What's this, James Lloyd. I guess he was of Pieces from a Dream. And so he's just doing some really, really nice things around the city in relation to jazz and other. And I'm going to say other because I know he comes from R&B too, because he used to work with me years ago. And so I'm excited to have him on the show. Works with me.
Yes.
So
Nice guy.
I came in, and my homegirl Renee in the front. Renee, we were talking about the lemon burn.
Oh, girl,
Yeah.
yes. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
So
And-
we're doing it.
Yeah, honey, listen here. If you want to get that midsection, which most of us have a problem with, I know I do. That's, my concern always.
Yeah.
I tell you, it's a gradual thing, but you'll see the results. It's something that doesn't just come off the next day. You really
Right.
have to be
Right.
diligent in drinking it every day.
Right.
If
I mean,
you want to see the results.
right. Now, I've been watching. I've been watching LaWanda because with me, I'm like, I'm gonna see what happens to her.
Right.
I'm gonna see what happens with LaWanda.
Right.
But LaWanda's got like tons of energy. She's like, I'm on a scale of at 45, she's at 105. So her energy is just like high energy. But I do see the results of what it is that because she's been taking this lemon burn for a while.
Right.
You do have to work out with it though, just to tone up whatever comes off, so you just don't get soft. You know, how
Right.
you don't work out, your muscles get soft. You have to work out to tone yourself up. However, the lemon burns help you to digest whatever you put in your body.
Right.
Outside of that, it's also beneficial for anything that you may be going through, like cold, sinuses. And I've been taking it, but again, like I said, I've been taking it for my allergies because they're like horrible. Wintertime, it'll be good. Then the next day is really, really bad. And I noticed that when I take the lemon burn, it keeps me regular in terms of my sinuses and everything.
Right.
I feel better. And then the only thing I've noticed for me as a vocalist is that because it has apple cider vinegar in there and it has lemon juice in there, I have to maybe dilute it a little bit, just because for the vocal cords is kind of hard on the vocal cord. And if you're doing that every day and you sing often, then you might want to just find another way to help be able to use that. That's just my only note for it, but it works. It does work. You know, I've been using it so much now that I don't even eat like I used to, and it was because I think it's because I'm used to what the lemon burn is starting to do, so I don't get hungry as often. You know,
So it curbs your appetite.
Right. I've eaten like one big meal in the middle of the day, and then because my schedule is so busy,
Right.
I'm running. By the time I get to go for another meal, I'm so sleepy, I go to bed.
But that's
So I don't
good
get to
thing.
eat, right? I wake up hungry, like, oh, I got to eat something. So I usually do a boiled egg in the morning and maybe a half a cup of tea and 4 ounces of lemon burn.
Right.
And I take that to work. I come home and I eat my meal and, you know, I do my lemon burn. But it does work. So you guys can come on, make your way down here. I got a bottle right here. I'm going to show you.
A nice size, too.
Lemon burn is good for you.
It is.
Anyway, I'm being silly. But it is really, really good. Inside it has rose hips. It says detox. It suppresses your appetite. I've experienced that.
Right.
It burns the fat, and that does work because you don't know it's actually working. You know, I guide it by what I feel inside my body, and I call it the tinglies. And when you start burning, you feel the tinglies in your body before you start sweating, right? And so I call it the tinglies. It does work.
Okay.
That's probably not the best thing to say. But it aids in digestion. It decreases abdominal and visceral fat. And for those of you that don't know what visceral fat is, it's that fat that you had for years and don't know how to get rid of it.
Right.
It's just stuck
sitting
there.
Yeah.
And it's like, I ain't going nowhere. You be working out.
You can be
Push-ups,
fine
sit-ups.
everywhere else, but I'm not.
Sit-ups. It's like, child, you gonna work right on around me. But that's what visceral fat is. So you guys can go ahead, call into the station and purchase a bottle of it and just try it. That's all I can say. If you have doubts about it, just try it. And then, we'll talk afterwards. How about that?
Yes.
Yes.
But it does work.
Right, it does work. So we're going to take a very, very small break, and then I'm going to bring my guest, Andre Daniels, on, and we want you guys to stick with us for more What's Up Detroit.
This program is brought to you by Lemon Burn. Lemon Burn attacks and reduces belly fat. Get yours today. 313-868-6612.
Hi, this is LaWanda.
This is RJ Watkins.
Coming to you to bring you some information about the #1 detox in the nation, Lemon Burn. Lemon Burn helps to turn the fat into fit. It's for you, a happier, healthier you. Because healthy is the new beautiful. an all-natural way to improve your health. It promotes a healthy digestive system, attacks and reduces belly fat, as well as gives you energy. Need to get yours today. Call 313-868-6612.
Don't forget to exercise and eat right.
Not only can you listen, you can watch. 107.3 WVIE, Virgin Islands. Have your own show and be seen and heard in the Virgin Islands, Detroit, and worldwide. RadioWeCanSee.com, a Watkins Broadcasting Company. Block time is available. Call now, 313-868-6612.
Welcome back to What's Up Detroit. We are sitting here with the one and only Mr. Andre Daniels. I call him the new and upcoming promoter, producer. And I keep saying upcoming, but it's not really upcoming because you've been doing this for a while. Yes. And you're having some issues over there, aren't you?
We got chair.
Right, shrinking is going down and down. We're not going to worry about it. As long as you don't land on that ground, we're okay. Okay. All right, so Andre Daniels, he is his entertainment company is Jazz Masters, and they produce shows with different artists. Some of the shows being with people like Yancey, who's one of my favorite of all time locally, and you're also doing something coming up with the artist Phil Denny.
Yes.
And James Lloyd from Pieces of a Dream.
Yes.
Okay, so now Andre is one of these kind of people that if you know him, conversation with him is so easy to get into because he's just got that. You know, he's just got that kind of personality where he's easy to talk to, and he's so motivated about getting to know you as an artist and work with different people. Can you tell us a little bit about what you're doing here with your company?
Well, Jazz Masters, me and three other brothers came together to form an entertainment group that we could bring some of the finest entertainment in the country.
Okay.
And we want to bring people local as well as people national here.
Okay.
And the purpose for that, you know, the music industry has gone south with the way music is done. Like the older groups, you had joy when you listened to the older groups, the R&B groups, the jazz groups. We want to get back to that, giving shows where people can come out with their mates and be dressed and have a good time.
Oh, yeah.
And come into a beautiful building and feel like they're special.
Right.
You know, so
right.
that's what we want to do and bring some of the older groups back, Motown's finest, as well as some Motown's jazz artists or jazz bands that started all this in Detroit.
Right. See, I like that. He said that started all of this in
Right.
Detroit.
Yeah.
And there's a huge respect for those artists. And, you know, newer generations coming up don't necessarily know about those people. And I found out about the legacies because I ended up being tutored underneath the legacies, you know, the jazz musicians and the vocalists and whatnot, and being able to follow them. And so what you're providing is another source for our young people to be able to come and experience that as well.
Yes, you know, and it's so interesting, you know, coming from Philadelphia and coming to Detroit about 25 years ago, you know, Philly is second to Motown for some of the best artists in the world.
Okay.
But when I came to Motown, is just tons of people, raw talent that you can't get nowhere else in the world.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they knock Detroit, but Detroit needs to be the capital again of fine music.
All right, come on.
We have the artists. We need to be the capital of fine music again, and need to have people around us to make us number one again.
And what's great about that, and I love what you just said because you're right about that, you know, and in all honesty, when I think about the music that were some of the most memorable songs or artists that I can remember, they were either from Detroit or from Philly.
Yes.
For real. And so Philly has got that soul. You know, it's like a Detroit soul. It's a little different, but they definitely have that soul. And, you know, I love the talent that come from there. But what you were saying when you were talking about bringing that back to the city, because a lot of, you know, now there aren't any jazz stations anymore.
Yes.
You know, and there's another young man that's creating the new jazz station. I can't remember his name. His father was a Motown artist as well. Gotcha. It'll come to me in a second. Okay. I'll look him up and we'll talk about him. But for you to be able to bring that back so that people can come and see it, you know I miss it. You know, and we sit around and we wait for these shows to come up, for our greatest to show up, you know, like, you know, Pieces of a Dream, different groups to come into town for us to be able to hear that.
Yes.
But we have that here already.
Yes, we do.
And so we been able to go and see it all the time in the fashion of a concert or a major event like you're talking about is really, really important. And people like you make that happen.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, no, thank you. Yeah. Right, BJ? Thank you. Because you provide the avenue. You know, so when you mentioned that you were doing this, I was like, oh my God, that's awesome. Because that was a thing I thought about often. And Joe and I had been talking about recently a lot. You know, we had a caller call in a couple weeks ago, and he asked us about, well, what are you guys going to do? What are you guys going to do to create that? And Joe was like, well, that's why we're here, because we need to put the word out and bring people together to create that. So you're working with other people. Who are some of the people that you're working with?
Other artists such as I work with out there, Renee, Gwen Fox, which I want to take a second for Gwen, because Gwen has done so much for the city, as well as help artists to get a place that people didn't know they know them now because of Gwen.
Yes.
And
yes,
the cafe,
she's
down at the Reefer Cafe on Wednesdays, and she's doing a phenomenal thing for our artists, and bringing artists there, and made it the #1 jazz cafe in the city.
Very nice.
So when you connect yourself with people like you, Daisy, as well as Gwen and Jackie and different ones I've been knowing for over 30 years, you can bring a team together that can do fine things, and people that you can trust.
Right.
And that's the key for me, having people around me that I can trust and know they got your back. And when you ask them to do something, they don't have a problem doing it.
Right.
You know, different artists like Yancey and different ones I work with, before they asked me about the money, they said, when do you want me to do it, Andre? Because of the relationships we have. And the money comes. We're going to take care of the artists. But that's the first thing they ask. Well, you just let me know the date. If I'm not booked, I'm there. And Althea's done the same thing. We brought Jeanette Harrison with Althea over at Canton Theater, and both put on a fabulous show. I mean, they brought the house down. And we want to bring
Althea Renee is the bomb.
and we want to bring women like that. We're going to bring Jeanette Harris back. Horn player, used to play with Tina Marie. The girl is awesome. And to know that you have people or friends like that are willing to do that for you, or if you ask somebody like you and Jackie to do a show, I've never had a problem. Y'all just tell me when you want it done, and then we discuss the money, and it's done. And so want to get back to relationships and pure relationships, because people are not honest in this business anymore. And so once we get back to taking care of the artists and helping them and showing them that they're important, the artist is important first, and then the producer.
Right.
So doing it a little different.
Right. Well, see, that's awesome. You know, and the music is coming through the artist, so there is a level of respect that everybody should have for them, because I truly believe the talent is a gift, and it's a God-given gift, and when you share it through your heart, through your passion, it comes across like it needs to. Relationships are just the ground to get it going, and you developed several relationships. Like, I've known you for
Almost
some
30
time.
years.
How old was I when I met you, Andre? 20-something?
Yes.
Was it 20? I think. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yes.
I think I was about 27.
So it's almost been almost close.
Just
to
don't say that.
Okay. Yes.
Would you
I'm
tell
sorry.
it?
I won't tell it.
Man,
I promise.
not on this show. We can whisper it outside, but not here. But I was doing house music.
Yes.
I was doing house music, and you used to bring your daughter.
Yes.
And she used to come and she used to dance with us.
Yes.
Which was really, really cool. So Andre was like a huge supporter for me and a great motivator, because I remember at that time I was super self-conscious Oh my God, I was so shy, wasn't I?
Yes.
I was extremely shy, BJ. You wouldn't even know. I was shy. I was so shy that they used to get on me all the time. It was like, you got to come out of that shell, Daisy. The producer's name was Roderick Brewer and Tyrone T-Bone Hannon.
Oh, yeah.
And they were just the best. I love those two guys so much because they worked to help get me out of my shell and at least start the foundation. You know, how I met Roderick Brewer was he needed a singer to fill in, and a lady named Vina Anderson saw me singing. I was doing a karaoke contest. It was oh, this is awesome. It was Vina Anderson and Dennis Bowles.
Oh, yeah.
So funny. I forgot to talk to Dennis about that because I had Dennis here a while ago.
Yeah,
but it was Dennis Bowles, and they were doing a karaoke contest. And when I finished, Vina came to me. She was like, "Oh my God, I love your voice." And I was like, "Well, thank you." They wasn't expecting it to be as big as it was because I'm so short. Anyway, she put me in touch with Roderick Brewer, and when he heard me, he was like, I like to record you. Do you mind working on some stuff? We can build it together. And from that, I just kind of snowballed and did more and more and more.
Oh, yeah,
and then I used to go and see Gwen Fox.
Yes.
Oh my God. And I was just like amazed at her range.
That's right.
Her, Leslie.
Yes.
These people. Leslie sounded to me like, she still sounds like Shantae Moore with a little bit of, she's just got too much soul.
Awesome,
that's all I'm saying.
Awesome vocalist.
Yes.
Glad you mentioned that name. Another person worked with, and Donald Ray.
Oh, yeah. Donald Ray's another unlimited vocalist.
Put on a nice show.
Man, come on now. Now, you talk about putting a show together.
Yes.
I want to see Gwen Fox, Althea Renee, straight ahead. I want to see them all.
That would be awesome.
I want to see them all. You put Yancey on there. You put Kim Wright on there.
We can make that happen.
God. You make Leslie, who we got Thornetta on.
Yes.
We be talking about a super show.
Yes.
Right.
That's a super show.
We need to make that happen.
We bring that house down.
Right.
People won't want to go home. We be like, listen, we got to go home. It's 2:00. They putting this out.
Right.
That's right.
One more show,
We can make
and then
that
you
happen,
wrap it up
y'all.
with the Undisputed Truth.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, yes, doing our thing. But I am so appreciative of you doing this.
Thank you.
We were going to have Phil Denny call in, so I'm hoping that he's going to still be able to call in.
Yes.
He may have, and I might have missed the call speaking, with you. But if he can call back one more time, Phil, then come on, call us. I'd love to talk to you, and I'm anxious to speak to you and actually to get to meet him.
In fact, you will get a chance to meet him as well as James Lloyd.
Okay.
And James is just an awesome pianist. He was doing it 50 years ago, around playing the piano around his back and all the different things and joy. I got to watch him as a young kid at 13 years old back in Philly, and would bring the house down.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Detroit's, when he comes, a lot of times he's coming with other people, but he's coming as himself.
Okay.
And you're going to see a phenomenal show
Yeah.
with him. And we want to see everybody there at Village Theater in Canton.
Mm-hmm.
And we hope that y'all be in the house with us and having a good time with us, and to see the type of shows that we're going to promote.
Right, right. So this show is going to be, like you said, at the Village Center
Village
at
Theater.
Cherry Hill.
Yeah.
And this is in Canton, Michigan?
Yes.
It's 50400 Cherry Hill Road, right? And on this show is going to be, this is going to have James Lloyd on there as well.
Yes, James
And
is-
Phil Denny.
Yes.
Whoa, now that's going to be really nice.
Be a
You
great
guys,
show.
if you don't know, James Lloyd is a recording artist, and he was with Pieces of a Dream.
He's still with Peace
Oh,
of the
he's
Dream. They
still-
still do
see?
shows,
Wow.
and then he does shows on his own, too.
Okay. Yeah,
Yes.
so the phenomenal music. Really, really nice. The showtime is at 6. Artist reception is at 6, and the
6,
showtime is at 7.
7, yes.
What are the tickets? 30?
Tickets are $40 and $30.
Okay, so 30 is for online. How does that work?
That's for like the back end row of the seats.
Okay.
The first like in yellow, and then they got it in the yellow rows are the 40.
Okay.
And then the pink row is the 30.
And I see you have an artist reception on here. What is that? It's $15.
Yes, they have a private meeting with them and
Oh,
sit
nice.
and talk with with Phil and James Lloyd. Before the show starts, they will
Okay.
take time to talk. Ask questions and everything.
Photo opportunity?
Photo opportunity.
Very
as well
nice.
as CDs.
Very nice. So you did something recently with Yancey.
Yes, we that Lapita in Dearborn, a good friend of mine that owns the restaurant there. He said to me, "I know you do something down at the Reefer Cafe. You do things in Canton. why don't you bring something to Dearborn? And I said, wow. And he said, well, I'll give you my building and let's make this happen. And so he did that. It holds, it's a banquet hall. It holds about 200 people. And we're going to be doing more shows from that place. During the coming year, we might have 5 more shows that we do there this year.
Nice.
So we're going to be bringing different artists, some national, some from Detroit.
Okay.
So we hope y'all look on our webpage, jazzmaster.com, and see what's coming up, and some very awesome talent. And we're trying to get, if everything works out right, we're trying to get Jeanette Harris here before June.
Right.
And she's well known and want people to get a chance to really enjoy her awesome horn player, one of the top horn players in the country.
Yes. Well, see, I know we actually did a show with Alexander Zonjic.
Yes.
In the summertime, and was it July or somewhere around there?
Yes.
It was a really, really nice show on the water and everything. And so, but when you're trying to find different shows and people producing different shows, there aren't many other options.
Right.
And I like Alexander. I love what they do.
Right.
But to have more options is just awesome. You know?
I'm glad you mentioned that. We want to bring more shows to Detroit. You know, there's festivals. I live in Monroe. There's festivals down in Monroe. There's festivals in Trenton. You know, they have the major jazz show, but we'd like to bring a show that can bring in 15 or 20 artists where it's R&B and jazz. And so it makes Detroit be the jazz, you know, with everybody, the jazz capital. You know, it's nice to it's nice to follow out to the other ones, but bring one to Detroit that all the people can enjoy and have fun. Say, hey, this is what we want.
Because summertime is, it's unlimited opportunity. We have unlimited space. You know, I've been watching some of the newer groups come up, and I call them pop-up events. And because they'll take these little small parks, which are community parks, and they'll put talent. They put artists in these small parks, and before the day, 2-3 hours into the concert, the park is filled with people, which tells you that there is a hunger for that kind of entertainment around the city.
Definitely, we need it here. I know that Kim would do it from time to time, once a year in different spots. Then he had it off the water. We love to do something like that. We bring major artists like he's done, and just put the city's on a uprise. We'd like to be a part of that and give Detroit's best talent in the world, show the world that Detroit does still have it and always has.
And always has,
yeah, and it's just a matter of people like you coming forward.
Thank you.
And putting that together to make it happen. So any way I can help support, I'd love to be able to help support you with that that vision. You know, like the giraffe on the top of the tree.
Gotcha.
You got a big vision, but your heart is leading you to it. Now, I got to ask this question because I'm always interested in finding out where the inspiration comes from. Where did you first realize you were inspired to? What started you or your spark into music?
Well, it started with my mom, and my mom, she passed in 2009.
Okay.
But as a young kid, she listened to the Al Greens, the David Ruffins, the different ones, and so I grew up under Nancy Wilson and all the different artists. So I had a chance to listen to fine music as from a young kid. So by the time I was 11, I was listening to stuff like War, Isaac Hayes. So I grew up on all these things, Undisputed Truth. You know, so by the time I turned about 11, I was buying my own music.
Oh wow!
I was buying my own music. By the time I was 15, I had at least 1,500 albums. So I started DJing in the spirit.
Yeah, I remember you were DJing.
And so in DJing, you know, people wanted to hear fine music. And so I wanted to come across, if I played something, I wouldn't play trash. I wanted to play things that people could say, oh, I can go home and be with my mate, or I can be with this individual, or do things that when you left, you felt good. You know, and so that passion, and then met a good friend, I guess I was about 22, met Rick Beeman, and he was playing with the group One Up, and he invited me down the Floods one day, and with One Up, and then from there I met Gwen Fox, I met Jackie, I met you. I started meeting all these people that were in the music, and I would play music behind them during the breaks and stuff, and it just became a phenomenon.
Wow.
And so with that, and then we developed relationships that we got to play with. Next thing I'm in rooms with people, you know, for the mayor and different things like this, just because of being in the right places and playing the right things at the right time. So it opened me up to avenues that I would have never I would have never, it's not, people would dream to do that.
Yeah.
I just happened to be around the right people.
Yeah.
And because of being around the right people, they helped me. And because we cared about each other and we were, nothing was about money. It was about developing relationships so that we can have, fine artists and it spread from there. And that's what brought my passion to one day. They tried to get me to do that about 30 years ago, and I said, nah, I'm not ready.
You weren't ready?
I wasn't ready for that.
Like, not yet,
all
not
my
yet.
friends were trying to push me to do that.
Really?
But I knew later on with the developing those relationships that soon I could do it and do it with ease.
Yeah.
The key for us right now, and I know y'all will say that in this business, we need sponsors behind us because once we get the sponsor dollars, we can create whatever you want. Because a lot of times, a lot of times we're using our money right now to bring the artists in. But once you get sponsor dollars behind you, you can bring fabulous shows. Because, and that's, I used to be with Tyrone Bradley and them and the DJs, and they would have sponsors and different things. And we need that. Once we get that, we can bring the artists that people want to see, and with no problem, and make sure the artist gets paid well.
Right.
Because that's the key. The artist is really what makes a show go.
Yeah.
Without the artist, the promoter's nothing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you said it all. He said a whole mouthful right there. Did you hear that? Without the artist.
Yes.
It goes hand in hand.
It goes hand in hand. It does. And one, the relationships again.
Yes.
It's like, and I'm gonna go here because I see the example. I remember when I first saw Kimmy Horn and she was singing with Norma Jean Bell, and I was like, "Whoa, she's a firecracker." And then I saw her again, and she was with David Mile and Milestones. But and then she knew. I think she always knew what she wanted to do. She had a passion to do it, and she just kept on moving up, and then knocking down doors. And now she's doing her Kimmy Horn Jazz Festival, and it's phenomenal. But that vision was humongous, kind of like your vision.
Yeah.
But she knew she could accomplish it, and she ended up getting the sponsors. Now she's actually promoting and producing shows, which is awesome.
And I love that about Kimmy. I've had a chance, to do things with Kimmy, and Kimmy's just a phenomenal artist, and she cares about the people, and she cares about Detroit.
Right.
And she represents Detroit in a fine way, and we're going to try to work and do some things together with Kimmy, too.
Yeah,
but all the artists that you mentioned earlier today, we're going to try to do and bring Detroit, when you step into Detroit, this is the town to be in, not Atlanta, not California, not New York. It's going to be Detroit.
Right, it's going to be the music city again. Remember we were saying that, Detroit Music City.
Yes.
I just see that happening, and every time you think about Detroit, you think I see the music notes in my, like you go and you see the decoration of the music notes on the wall. I see Detroit with music around it because, it was built on the auto industry, but that was accompanied with music.
Right.
And so it's still here. It is still here and very relevant to where we are going for the future, especially when I see a lot of the younger people coming up doing it and how they're trying to express it.
Right.
With people like you being there to help promote and produce shows and do different things, and groups like us, Undisputed Truth, still living the legacies. I think it can't do anything but go up.
And I like to say something in harmony with that. I look at, we've known each other for a long time, but in harmony, I like what this platform can help, not just me, but many artists that's in the Detroit area. And we hope that, as we grow together, that we can bring more artists to this show and put this show #1 on the map.
Well, I'm looking forward to it.
Because I believe anything that we work as a team, it becomes #1.
Yeah.
And I won't settle for nothing. I don't want to settle for second.
No.
I want you to be the best at what y'all do as you do. And I'm proud of y'all too, and what y'all bring to the table as a group, bringing that old soul flavor to Detroit. And we need more of it.
Yes.
We need the real singers. We want, we want people to come. It was just amazing. I was talking with Beth Friday night, and she was singing with Alexander, and the voice. She sang on The Voice, but I said, hey, we know enough people to bring more like her to the table because we have the connections.
Yes.
So that's what we want to see and help different ones and teach them the ropes like it was done in the old days.
Right.
How to get to this point and that point, and not showboat, but be for real.
Right.
And if we do that,
Grooming them.
Yes,
Remember?
yes.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
we was in All In Productions.
Yes.
And what were they doing?
We were groomed.
They were grooming.
Yes.
They were, because trust me, I didn't know. I had Jackie G. Jackie G was my artist development.
That's right.
And I'm telling you, I learned so much just by watching her. I saw how she was elegant, how she was posed whenever she did her shows. She brought that to me, and you know how you learn by example.
Yes.
And I just admire her so much. Even to this day, she still has that grace.
Yes.
Right.
You know, and just phenomenal.
Awesome singer, known Jackie from Mass and what she's doing with y'all with Undisputed Truth. I want to tell you a funny story. It was one time we was at the Kimmy Horn show, and Maxine Powell, which would help people with how to act eloquently. So she said, "Well, can you get me backstage to see Kimmy?" I said, "I'm not that popular that I can do that." So she said, "Do you know who I am?" I said, "I know who you are." She said, "Well, when I say I'm Maxine Powell, you're supposed to make it happen." You know what I'm saying? So I said, "Okay, I'm going to make it happen. If you say I'm supposed to make it happen," she said, "You respect me, young man." And it was, that was so funny to me, but she had power like that.
Yes.
And she got to meet
Everybody
Kimmy.
knew
She
it.
got to meet Kimmy, but she let you know, hey, when you set the standard, you don't set nothing else but the
No.
standard. So she let me know, hey, when I tell you who I am,
Yeah.
you react and
That's
get it
right.
done.
That's
And
right.
Maxine was like that. And I took her home that day. She told me, young man, when I tell you to do something, that's what I want done. That's how I trained all the people. I said, she said, I've trained Diana Ross. I've trained the Temps. I gave them elegance, and I want you to have the same thing. When I tell you something, you do it.
But that set something in you, didn't it?
Yes.
It set the ability to be able to acquire what you want just
Yes.
by asking.
Oh, yeah. I won't accept no for an answer.
There you go.
Like, it's funny, me and my wife, we talk about certain things. She said, well, you can't get behind stage. I said, I sure can. I said, because I'm going to make an incident.
I'm make it happen.
I tell you, one of the funniest things was out in Vegas, and my favorite group, which was the Jacksons. They were doing Vegas, and she got me seats in the middle of the stadium.
Okay.
And so I said, well, I want to be down in the front. She said, well, we can't afford those. Those are $500. So I knew in Vegas that if you ask the ushers, they will put you where you want to be, and then you
Okay.
just give them a little money on the side. So I asked the usher, where would you like to see them and see the Jacksons? I said, well, halfway down. She said, well, I'll put you front row.
Oh, wow.
And what happened?
I'm going with Andre.
Yeah. And so what happened was a couple that was fussing. You got us these cheap seats, and I went to see the Jacksons, and I want to be down on what's the name. So I came up. I said, well, can you give me 4?
Oh.
And so took the 2. So the couple said, well, where we going? I said, you going down front row.
Oh, wow.
So the person said, well, see, you don't know who you sitting next to.
Yeah.
And it was just, you got to ask sometime.
Yeah.
You can't if you just don't take a chance.
Right.
You'll never get there. But
That's right.
got to see my favorite group. Got to talk to all of them. Got to
Yeah.
shake hand. And almost jumped on stage.
That's
So-
awesome. See, but that's the mark of a true promoter.
Thank you.
That's the mark of a promoter producer, a true promoter producer, because you have to know, one, that it's unlimited.
Right.
And if you know that because look, I was afraid. I'm gonna tell you, when I first started
remember.
producing shows, I
Yes.
was afraid
Yeah.
to produce a show. I was like, who gonna buy tickets? Who come to my show? But when I did my first show and sold as many tickets as I was blown away.
remember. Yeah.
It was blown away.
Oh, yeah.
And so you have to have the vision. You have to know that it's for you, and that whatever you put out there and you ask for, it will be yours.
It will come.
Yes.
It will come.
What is for you will be.
Yes,
Yes.
And we hope great things this year, from the promoting part of being young to this business as Jazz Masters is our second year in. And we've had some phenomenal artists, and we're going to have some more. We're working with a camp, Marcus Anderson, out of North Carolina,
Okay.
that can help us bring any artists here that we
Wow.
need. And
Yeah.
Marcus Anderson, if y'all don't know the name, he was Prince horn player.
Okay.
Boy is bad.
Yeah,
To
yeah.
see a man, and we will have him before the end of the year, to moonwalk, play a horn, and dance like Michael and Prince is amazing.
He's like a 3-in-1.
Yes, if you get to see, and I'll make sure y'all get some of his footage, but the man is amazing, and he's more humble. What I like when I'm dealing with artists that are humble, that they're up here, but they're down here with the people.
Right.
You know, they're here to, you know, they care about people. And I met him up in Grand Rapids, and the rest was history. We talked, and next thing you know, we get ready to do a show together.
Nice, look at there.
So that's how you
Boy, I
sometimes
tell
just
you,
talk.
Andre, something, ain't he?
Yeah.
But he's always had, ever since I've known him, Andre, you've always been doing something. Whether it was with his DJing or whatever it was that he was doing, it's always been entertainment.
Yes.
For something in line with entertainment.
Thank you.
And so I know you have, I know you're credible for what you're doing. I know you know what you're talking about. I would ask him about a song, he would know it probably before I do. and people say, Daisy, you know every song. And I'm like, I don't know, you ain't met Andre.
Thank
You
you.
ain't met Andre. But Andre, I appreciate you being on the show.
Oh, thank you.
You guys, I want you to check out Jazz Masters. Tell them how they can get in contact with you.
Jazzmasters.com. You can get us on Facebook and Instagram. And check the number, and the number even for the Village Theater, which is, I'm going blank,
This is
yes, thank you, 734-394-5400. So come out and enjoy the show with us. This is just one of the amazing shows that you're going to see. We got some coming up. Check jazzmasters.com for the rest of the entertainment, as well as we'll try to be back here with Daisy and BJ.
Yeah,
right?
every time he
Okay.
gets some artists, I want him
Yeah.
to bring his artists here so we can interview them because
We will
he has
definitely do that.
phenomenal people. Oh my God, I'm like,
Thank
whoa,
you.
yeah, Andre, yeah, come on down.
Right.
But his show is going to be Saturday, March 28th, and it's at 6. The artist reception is 6 p.m. The show time is 7 p.m.
Thank you.
Tickets are $30 and $40 depending on where you want to sit.
Yes.
The VIP reception is $15 additional, but it's probably so worth it because you get to talk to the artist and you get to maybe have a photo opportunity. The address is 50400 Cherry Hill Road in Canton, Michigan. And the artist that day will be James Lloyd
Yes.
and Phil Denny.
Yes.
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 Thank you, y'all,
A
for giving me.
phenomenal show. It's my pleasure, Andre.
you for
I
giving
thank
us
you.
the
I really,
opportunity.
really appreciate you being here with us today.
And I appreciate being
And,
with y'all, and thank
yeah.
you for all of y'all hard work, and we will do this together.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
We'll make this phenomenal, and tell Joe I send my love too.
Oh, yeah, he's watching. Hey, Joe.
Yeah.
We
Thank you,
see you.
Joe.
Hey, Joe.
Nice to
Joe's
see you.
always watching. He's still in California, you guys, and he'll be back with us next week.
Yeah.
And doing this thing, you know, he's got his grandbabies out
All right.
there, and he likes to go visit his family every now and
Yes,
then,
and I don't blame him.
and check them out and see how they're doing, because
Yeah.
you know he's just here doing his thing. And we'll drive him crazy here in Detroit because that's what we do. That's what we do.
Yeah, so we'll see you Saturday, Joe. when
We will
get
see you
back.
Saturday. Yeah, we are going to be a part of the Legends, Offspring of Legends show coming
Awesome.
up at the Northwest Activity Center on Sunday.
Sunday.
And so, you know, again, you guys can go to our Facebook page, the What's Up Detroit Facebook page, and check that out and see, you know, if you want to come, where to purchase tickets and how to get tickets. And I'll also post the Jazz Masters information
Thank you very
for
much.
Andre Daniels. So you guys, if you're interested in seeing that show, that's something that's viable for you to do in March.
Yes.
And I'm looking forward to it. And you probably see me taking pictures for the Undisputed Truth page.
All right.
And posting all the different things with Andre and Miss BJ over here on the side with us. We're going to do our thing. We want to thank our sponsor, Lemon Burn, for our show today.
Yes.
Yes.
And it works.
It does
Yes.
work. But they provide us the opportunity to be able to bring you information like this. And having people like Andre with the community coming together to show where there's music, actually to grow the music, that's what we're all about. This show
Yes.
is about growing opportunities for the community through music and entertainment.
Yes.
And, you know, through the connections that you have and the connections we have, we come together and create it. It's not necessarily about the money, however, the money makes it a little easier to do.
Right.
All right.
But we
But
love
Yes.
we
Detroit.
love the music and we love our
Yeah.
city, and that's why we're here
Right.
to promote the music that has created the legacies, and where we are today, and growing a new community of musicians, singers, producers,
Right.
Yes.
artists.
And in harmony with what you're saying, we're going to work hard to get those sponsors behind all of us,
Right.
so that we can give people a better product and give them a
Yes.
good show.
And
Right,
that's
right,
what- that's-
right. And it'll be Jazz Masters. You'll be like, Jasmine, whoa, I remember that name from the city.
Thank
yes. So we want to thank you guys for joining us again. We're going to get on out of here and make our way back into the wind. The
All right.
cold. I love this place. I'm sorry, you guys. We want to thank you guys for joining us. We will see you again next week on What's Up Detroit. You guys have a great week. Peace and love.